Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Retroshade Radio. It is on and popping up in here. Today, I want to talk to you guys about the power of investing in yourself. This is a conversation that I've obviously been having a lot lately with having the Black Friday extravaganza sale. But just in general, it's something that I talk about a lot given the personal development industry and business consultation that I do. It is just a conversation that is always at the forefront of everything that I do. And it really, my passion for talking about it really stems from my experience in making the decision to invest in myself and the hurdles that I personally went through and had to overcome along my own journey of personal development and getting me to where I am now. And I think it's so important, and it's really interesting, especially from the viewpoint of women. Women typically have a much harder time being able to accept the idea that it is okay for them to invest in themselves. And because we're pretty much always taught that we should be putting everyone else above ourselves. Naturally that comes as being the nurturers of our species of human beings, but it's definitely reinforced in the culture that we're supposed to be nurturing other people, which means putting their needs above our own. And there's also kind of this general belief that if you are investing in yourself, investing in a coach or investing in therapy, investing in a program, that it's frivolous, it's luxurious, it's something that the elite can do. It's not available for everyone. And I think part of that comes from the idea that you have to have an extraordinary amount of disposable income. Part of that comes from the fact that the people that we see and hear talking about investing in coaches and therapy are people who are well off and have means. They will openly talk about how it is so crucial for their success to have people in their corner who are going to call them out, who are going to keep them accountable, and the benefits that they experience from literally collapsing time by not having to figure it out all by themselves. Instead, they hire people. We see people like Tony Robbins and Bob Proctor and Kara Alwill, Amanda Francis. We see Catherine Zenkia. We see all these people that are really successful big name coaches talking about it too, and talking about the high level clients that they work with, which is partially done as a marketing tactic to have somebody that people can relate to, even though it's not really, we're not able to really relate to them. It's cool that Tony Robbins works with, celebrities and elite athletes and stuff. That's cool, and we know who they are, but not relatable. That's something that I always giggle to myself about. But the key thing that I think we miss from those conversations that are happening is that the investments that these highly successful people were making were happening before they had their fortunes. They're able to invest in higher ticket priced coaching programs and higher ticket priced therapists and invest in more and have more available to them. They're able to buy into these high end masterminds with other millionaires, billionaires, and kind of people playing on a more elite field. But it was still super crucial for them. They will talk about, even Tony Robbins will talk about his experience and him even if it was $30 that he was putting that $30 towards listening to an audio tape of somebody that he really Zig Ziglar or something, a coach who he really respected and wanted to get in their energy because he understood that the most important thing for his success was to get out of his own damn way and be in the energy of somebody who has what he wants or has the tools to get to where he wants to be. And when we say things like wanting to, have what somebody else has, it's more of the energy of what they have and not necessarily wanting to mimic or copy and follow a step-by-step plan, which is what so many coaches these days are out here pitching and putting. I can't tell you how many posts I see about coaches saying like, sign up now and get my roadmap, follow these exact 5 steps that got me my first $1 million. And people are flocking to it because we want to get to our goal faster, but we're cheapening out on ourselves and we're not investing on things that actually work. The reality is that step-by-step plan will work for a small number of people. It's not going to work for the vast majority because you are a very different individual. You have different goals and you have a different way that you want to live your life. And you're also going to be executing that play-by-play plan at a different point in time than what that individual does. The world keeps shifting and growing and changing. And so the same tactics don't work over and over again for very long. You have to keep shifting and evolving and changing. And so what you actually want to be able to do is invest in learning how you operate. What are the tools to becoming resilient and adaptable and pivoting yourself? Like what is the steps that you take to evolve and continuously evolve? Because that's the goal. We get so caught up in this idea of having an end point in mind. We want to make $10,000 a month every month in our business. We want to make $1 million. And we like set our sights on the end point, and then we obsessively focus on the end point and forgetting about the fact that the goal is really to keep moving the needle forward every single day. Because there will come a point in time in your life where you do land that goal. You do have 10K months. You do make that $1 million. And the reality is that unless you've actually done the inner work and you've learned that the process is what it is that you're actually wanting to go towards, you're going to feel void when you do accomplish that goal, because that goal was not the thing that you wanted. The thing that you wanted was to feel a sense of accomplishment, success, stability, financial freedom, happiness, joy. It was the emotions and the things that you have in your life, the relationships that you have in your life, the freedom in your life. There's something lying underneath that tangible title that you put on your goal. And so when you can start building and cultivating the energy and the emotions around what that endpoint is for you, that's when you can start anchoring in and start seeing how you can live alignment with that and how you can start putting your unique roadmap into play of what you need to be doing and taking those actions and feeling good and aligned and starting to feel like that version of yourself who already has those goals. It's not going to feel good if you're following someone else's play by play, and because it's not going to be in alignment with you. There's going to be like a part of you that's feeling like out of integrity with it. So that's what I wanted to come on here to really talk about, is the power of you saying to yourself, like, yes, I am worthy of investing in myself because I have big dreams, I have desires, I have things that I want out of my life, and I want them to stop being dreams or just something that like I think about when I'm trying to escape what my current reality is, and I want to make it a goal so that I plant it in my future and it is the thing that drives my momentum forward, and so I accomplish it and it's inevitable. And what you're doing when you invest in yourself is you are teaching your subconscious and your nervous system that you are worthy of that goal. You are worthy of your desires being a reality, and it starts to shift with your money mindset. The conversation that you have with yourself is not, can I afford to do this? This question that you start asking yourself is, can I afford to not go after it? Can I afford to stay stuck in this stagnant moment that I'm not happy in? Because the longer that I stay stuck and the longer that I stay trying to figure it out for myself and running into these roadblocks, sabotaging myself, hearing no's, getting turned down, experiencing what feels like failure after failure, that's stalling me, and that's actually costing me time, money, and energy because I'm not progressing. So when I invest and I get that program, I get that coaching, I get that therapy, I get that thing, that access to that thing that I need that's going to drive me forward, I stop spending my time trying to figure things out which are not in my zone of genius so that I can focus on what is in my zone of genius and I can hone my skills, and then I can also get a different different perspective and having someone calling me out because I'm no longer going to be a victim to my old self, to that subconscious that tries to keep me in my comfort zone. I'm going to have somebody there who's going to hold me accountable, who's going to call me out, but more importantly, who is going to teach me how to recognize these things, how to break those patterns and states so that I can end up becoming that powerful version of myself who can do this, so that I can self-coach, I can self-lead, I can build my own momentum and motivation to keep moving forward. It's so empowering to be able to do that. And that's how you start building that confidence in your life. I know so many of us as women, like that's one of the biggest things that I hear from women is wanting to have the confidence, the audacity to be able to say like, this is my big goal and I'm going to make it happen for myself. I'm going to make $1 million. I am going to be in my dream relationship. I'm going to find my dream partner. I am going to have kids. I am going to buy a house. I am going to be financially independent. I'm going to travel the world. I am going to do whatever it is that you want to do. And it's how you collapse time, because you don't spend all your time and energy trying to figure out on your own. It is a huge waste of your time. And that's one of the things that we constantly hear these people who are highly successful, these high achievers, is understanding that your time and energy is money. It is your success. It is your momentum. And the more that you are trading that time and energy in, spinning your wheels, trying to figure something out when other people have already done it and you have access to those people, you're wasting your most precious resources. Those are things like your time and energy are things that you're never going to get back. Money, you can make back. That's no big deal. So it's about, delegating tasks. It's about, accepting that you don't have to know everything, but that you have access to, like, we've never had more access to information and technology than we have in this point in time. So it makes so much sense for you to be able to be like, listen, I can keep spinning my wheels. I know that I can figure out like how to accomplish my goals. I know that I can figure out like how to do all these things, but why am I going to spend my time and energy trying to figure it out when I can hire somebody who that's their specialty, that's their expertise, that's their zone of genius, is to bring that out of me? Why wouldn't I just invest that money in them now? Because I know that when I'm coming and I'm evolving and I'm becoming this better person and I'm going after my goals, I'm going to make that money back tenfold. It just makes sense. And it also, like with your subconscious mind, like we've all been victims of it, where you go through like burnout, you go through imposter syndrome, you go through self-sabotaging patterns, you're crippled by fears, doubts, limiting beliefs. And it stops you from going after what it is that you actually want. And when you work with somebody like a coach, you're hiring someone to remind you that all of that is just a story that's living in your subconscious to keep you in your comfort zone. And you don't want to stay in your comfort zone. You want to grow. You want to stretch. You want to experience a life that you're obsessed with. You want your desires to come to reality. You wouldn't have desires if you didn't want them to be your reality. And that's the thing that you need to know and accept about yourself and really embrace. Your desires are there for a reason. It's part of what you're meant to live and experience in this lifetime. So do yourself a favor and lean in, honey. Invest in yourself. And know that, when you do invest yourself, you're more motivated to create an ROI or a return on investment for yourself. You make that investment and something triggers inside of you and says, okay, I have to make sure now that I show up and I put my energy into this. Like I invested, I got to go big or go home. I got to make that money back and then some. I can't quit and slow down now. Like I'm have to go all in because that is what my highest self would do. And I need to live in integrity and alignment with what that version of myself does. So it's all about shifting your mindset, and it's about asking yourself, like, do you automatically assume that you can't afford it? And starting to get curious and poking around about what your current beliefs are about money and what your money habits are, your beliefs and your patterns. Like, how do you interact with your money? Is there a scarcity that comes with it? Like, are you afraid that if you spend that money by investing in yourself that you won't make it back? Because what you're then telling yourself is that not only that you're not worthy of spending money on yourself, it's that you're not capable of progressing and achieving your goals. You are already telling yourself that you're a bad investment because obviously it's going to be a waste of money because obviously you're not going to accomplish your goals. And I want you to really sit with that. I know so many of you are going to resonate with that last thing. I know I resonated so heavily with that. That was one of my really big stories. And also just not being a safe space for money to exist with. And so let it sit with that and don't judge yourself. The majority of us have these money stories, but it's those of us who have the courage to face it, to be honest with ourselves and to get curious about it without the judgment and without making it mean that we're terrible people or that we're broken or we're like poor or whatever the story is. When you're able to look at it as just information, you put yourself in a power position. You give yourself the opportunity to take the power back and do something about it. And again, that's how you build your confidence back. Your confidence comes from repeatedly showing yourself that when you have information, you have the power to create something magnificent. You have the power to change your reality. You have the power to make your desires a reality. You are more powerful than what you give yourself credit for, and it's about time that you start changing that narrative. So, treat yourself, honey. You'll be glad that you did. Okay, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this pep talk really got you thinking and motivated to start looking at what your money story is, starting to think about what your desires actually are and what those blocks are that are holding yourself back. Because the stories that you're telling yourself that are holding you back are only true when you believe them to be true. So stop that. And it can literally be as simple as that. I do have my Black Friday extravaganza sale going on until December 1st at 11:59 p.m. But I also have some really exciting new programs and new opportunities coming at you. I've been deep in prepping for what is to come. And honeys, we're making some freaking magic happen. We are changing the game up in here. We are putting women in the driver's seat and in power, and I cannot wait. I'm really stepping into my mission here on earth, and I'm so excited to take you on this journey with me. So please, of course, rate, review, subscribe to Retroshade Radio. Make sure that you are following me on Instagram at the Heather Fisk. Slide into my DMs. Let me know what it is that you want us to talk about here. Questions that you have, career, business, life, dating, sex, relationships, pop culture, all the things, honey. Okay, I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.